May I come in, sir?
Please come, please come.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Morning, morning. Please take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
So, yours is a very interesting profile. What should we call you? Major Abhinandan?
I've resigned from the service now, sir.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. What was the reason for you to resign?
Sir, actually, in 2017, in one of the training events, I got injured.
Oh.
And over a period of time, my injury got deteriorated, sir. And so I took a call that I should better be looking for an alternate option rather than just limping towards mediocrity, sir.
Oh. No, I must say very brave of you to kind of deal with an adversity and make the best of a difficult situation. That's really very impressive. So you took, how would you kind of sum up your experience? How do you feel leaving the army life and now?
It was a tough decision because Army is one of the most wonderful organizations that our country has, sir. And right from 2014 when I joined the academy, sir, it was a wonderful experience both in terms of exposure plus learning, and of course it gives the opportunity to...
Tell me, sorry to interrupt you, but
Sir.
Do they give you any benefit when you took this kind of, what is it called, resignation?
It is resignation. Actually, the policy says, sir, if you resign before 10 years of service, it is termed as a resignation. And if you go beyond 10 years, then it is termed as retirement, premature retirement, sir. And since mine is the case of an injury which is attributable to military service, there are chances that disability pension might be given, but as of now it is not clear. As per the policy which I have studied, it should be there, but as of now the process is not taking place.
Okay.
Sir.
Okay. So you have offered philosophy as your optional subject.
Sir.
What is categorical imperative and who propounded this concept among the philosophers?
It's just skipping my mind. I'm aware of it, sir.
Okay.
But it is just skipping my mind, sir. Sir.
Tell me, if I say the name of a musician Wagner,
Sir.
and also mention somebody who was responsible in a way of starting the Second World War,
Sir.
would the name of a philosopher occur to you as a somebody who has some connection, no matter how remote?
To the World War, sir?
World War, Second World War. It is said that leader, or Hitler,
Sir.
it is said that Nazism was influenced in some way by the philosophy of this gentleman.
I might
And
know the
he
name.
was very close at one point of time to Wagner, who was the leading composer at the time in Germany.
I might know the name, but I'm not aware about the correction, sir.
What is the name?
I might be aware, but I'm not sure, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
No, if you don't know the connection, then you may probably not name you would know, but what is the context? Why was Nietzsche actually, you know Nietzsche?
I've heard the name, sir.
So he was a philosopher.
Sir.
What was his philosophy, which connected to, in some way, to Nazism?
I'm not aware, sir. Not aware about Nietzsche.
Okay.
No.
Okay, tell me, Bhutan is having some dialogue with China.
Sir.
Since you are in the army and
Sir.
These matters are of course immense interest to you.
Sir.
What do you see as the significance of that for India?
The dialogue which Bhutan is right now having with China is with respect to the resolution of the boundary disputes, sir. And 2 or 3 important places which are of special interest, sir. First is of course the Doklam conflict which took place in 2016, sir.
Yeah.
And then recently towards the eastern part of Bhutan also, the Chinese have laid the claim towards the Sakteng wildlife sanctuary, sir. So
that is the other area.
Yes,
okay.
other area which they are targeting.
And
how it is important for us is because that particular access through Bhutan gives China the advantage, and it can, if it decides to launch an attack from that access, and the Chicken Neck corridor, which is very fragile, 32-kilometer long boundary towards the northeastern states, that becomes vulnerable, sir. So Bhutan that way plays a very important role for us strategically, sir.
So therefore, what do you think India should do about this?
India is already the posture that the defensive as well as the offensive posture that we have taken, not just in Bhutan, even across the LAC, sir, right from the Ladakh towards the Arunachal Pradesh. So we are already building up the infrastructure, and as far as especially Bhutan is concerned, sir, we already have a mission there. IMTRAT mission is there, sir, which is dedicatedly. It is a training school actually, but it gives us the leeway and it gives us the platform if some eventuality takes place, and through Sikkim and the other places we can just.
No, but think more is that, okay, as diplomatically at this stage, what should India's approach be?
Diplomatic, first of all, sir, like it happened with Nepal, learning from the Nepal experiences earlier, sir. What we can do is as Nepal is already a very good friendly country for us, we have a mutual friendship treaty, and diplomatically what we can do is we can continue building the trust with Bhutan, sir, so that at no point of time do they give preference to the Chinese when it comes to our security concerns, sir. So we need to ensure that, so that the dialogue.
Are you aware that India, the foreign secretary's visit to Bhutan
Recently, sir?
is proposed?
Not aware, sir, right?
Proposed or has taken place?
Not aware, sir.
No.
Not aware, sir.
Okay, tell me, what about this, situation in Jammu and Kashmir now?
With respect to the political or the overall conditions?
No, it's again geostrategic issues, what is happening after the, abolition of, or
revocation.
Revocation of
Article
Article 370.
Special status.
Suppose the abrogation, we had a brief period of lull in terms of the terrorist activities are concerned, compared to post the pre-abrogation period of before 5th of August 2019, sir. Before that, the number of terrorist activities that were there, they have come down drastically. But of late, we are seeing a pattern in which the terrorist activities, just recently in last 6 months or so, the number of terrorist attacks or activities and particularly targeting of the minorities has gone up, sir. So that way, it is a matter of concern for us. And the other thing that has happened politically, we could say the state has been converted into 2 UTs, sir. And now a section of people both in Jammu and Kashmir as well as in Ladakh, they are vouching for the statehood to be restored, sir.
The approach of the terrorist, what are the significant ways that it has changed now, and what are the specific ways you think we should respond to that?
So first of all, the major change that has happened is the sleeper cells have got active, sir. Now what we call, I'm not just getting the exact term for that, sir. What earlier used to happen, we used to have a dedicated terrorist who we had a record of, sir. But now what is happening is the terrorists, they are just like normal civilians, sir, and they are part of the civilian population. They will act and they will just go back to their sleeper cells. Yes, so that it is very difficult because we don't have any record for them, sir. So it becomes difficult to identify them. So
how do you think we should handle this?
So first of all, because my last tenure in the army was a part of the signal intelligence only, sir. So we were into the value. I was into the value.
You used to provide technical.
Yes, technical signal intelligence we used to provide, sir. So that way, first we need to collaborate both the technical intelligence as well as the human part, sir. And for building the human, what is more important is to have that rapport with the civilian population. And already the various units, army units that are posted, they are having a lot of programs, including the Sadbhavna and other missions, in which we are able to have that rapport with the civilian population, so that as and when anything happens, we have that information so that the decisive action, timely action can be taken, sir.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much.
No, Abhinandan, allow me to once again go into your mind with regard to the decision making. And you very rightly spoke very positively about the army.
Sir.
And in the society in general, they have a very positive perception towards the army. Now perhaps you are moving into an area where the society in general has a very negative perception about the civil services. Now, A, how would you be able to reconcile yourself mentally? And B, why do you think there is such a negative perception about the civil service?
May I, sir?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So first question with respect to how would I reconcile, sir? The upbringing that I have had, plus the training and the versatility which the army has given me, sir. I think the reconciliation and this transition would not be a difficult thing, because army has given me that, it has groomed me in a way that no challenge, no situation, however challenging, will be difficult to handle. Yes, there will be challenges, but it will not be beyond the capabilities. The second thing, in terms of the negative perception, it is just 50-50, I would say. If there is a negative side to it, there's also a positive side. There are people who are doing a really good job. There are civil servants who are working day in and day out. So it is up to us.
I've got your point, and that's why I'm sorry I'm interrupting. Why did you not choose the private sector? You will have hopefully in all probability, you will have the disability pension and all that. What motivated you towards the civil service versus the private sector? The private sector was always an option, because your injury was not such which will inhibit you from working in the private sector.
There was never an iota of doubt for me that I would be, if army is not there, then public service is where I would like to go. As far as the private sector is concerned, yes, there are a lot of opportunities in terms of growth as well as the other career progressions that we have. But there was never an iota of doubt in my mind that this is what I have to do. Because public service, even before joining the army also, I was involved with a couple of organizations, and I was working on ground with the people, awareing people about climate change, about other things. So it is something that comes naturally to me to be among the people and work.
Very recently, in a very major international conference, the UN Secretary General made a very telling statement. Humanity has become a weapon of mass extinction. I would like you to give your views on this statement. Humanity, it's a very major international conference, and it's none other than the UN Secretary General who made that remark. Humanity has become a weapon of mass extinction.
What I infer from the statement made by the Secretary General is, sir, what the road we have taken for the human development, human progress, it can be related both to climate change, the disasters that are impending because of the climate change. Because in a way we say that development is important. Yes, that is no denying that fact. But at the same time, the cost of the development is what I think is under question in this statement. If we are developing, we are evolving, but at the same time we are not able to ensure that a fruitful, viable and a sustainable climate is passed on to the future generations, then that obviously is a question that can obviously derail our extinction itself in the times to come.
Okay, in this context of this, since you have such a army background, what is your assessment of the Russian army in the Ukrainian conflict? A general perception was that they will just, finish it off in not a very long time. But it appears to a layman that it has got bogged down in a long drawn out attrition, war of attrition. Is it because of the Russians, some mistakes which they have made, or is it because the Ukraine has been assisted by the West and therefore they are a formidable opponent?
So to pinpoint at one particular cause would be difficult, but I think it is a combination of all various factors. First is, war by its very nature has to be short-lived, because the more the war is prolonged, it is a cause of attrition for both the opponents. And as far as the Russian army is concerned, yes, it had the strength, it had the experience and resilience also, but as the war got stretched, sir, there was a problem with the spares also. And the other factor that you highlighted with respect to the Ukrainians being assisted by the West and the US, and recently also I think there has been a proposal to supply the Patriot missiles to the Ukraine through Germany. So that ways the dwindling reserves of Ukrainians have been supplemented by the West, but at the same time the war weariness among the troops, because when it comes to Ukraine, they are...
Did the Russians miscalculate?
In a way, I would say yes. In a way, they did miscalculate.
Let's go on to a different terrain and my last question. Connected to this only.
Sir.
Sanctions are self-defeating.
Sir.
There is a general perception that the sanctions are self-defeating.
Sir.
Are they? I hope it's in the context of
Sir.
the Russian-Ukraine
Sir.
conflict only. That is my last question to you.
If we were to talk about sanctions, particularly with respect to the present situation in Russia, sir, the sanctions imposed by the West on the Russian banking system, they got them out of the SWIFT system. But given the technology today, Russia has found a way out. Even with our country, we have somehow been able to, because of the
Let's make the question more focused.
Sir.
Should sanctions be used as a weapon?
Sir, if you ask for my personal opinion, sir.
Exactly.
Yeah, if you ask for my personal opinion, as long as sanctions are just a matter of procedures, they are not that effective. Even in the UN, when we, for that matter, when we say we sanction a particular country, we sanction something, or for a terrorist for that matter, there are hardly repercussions which actually make a difference on the ground. Because given the
I was just wondering,
Sir.
I mean, whether you would also dwell on the fact that it has a negative impact on the developing poor economies.
True,
Do you
sir.
agree with that?
Yes, sir, true. With respect to, just taking an example of Iran only, sir. Yes, there are issues with their nuclear program. They have been sanctioned, but sanctioning them at the cost of the common man, the sufferings of the common man. And
I'm
well,
not talking about an individual, I'm talking about
just
countries.
giving an example, sir. Iran has been sanctioned for a long time. Their nuclear program still, it is not clear what is the exact status. It continues to be under the curtain. And what the bulk of the common population is suffering, if sanctions were to take that into consideration and find a more proactive and more reasonable solutions, that would, I think,
Okay, thank you.
Abhinandan, I must congratulate you on the very wide spectrum of activities you've been engaged in.
Sir.
Poetry writing.
Sir.
What kind of poetry do you write?
So my poetry subject varies from motivation, sir. Then it has to do with the natural beauty, to include many of the poems include moon as the center figure, sir. Then River Chenab, which I'm from Aknoor, which is on the bank of River Chenab. So Chenab has been a part of subject of certain. Then love has been one of the major subjects.
In Punjabi, English?
English poetry.
In English.
Sir.
And free verse?
Sorry, sir.
Is it free verse or rhyming or?
It is a combination, sir. Sometimes I recently wrote one which is a rhyming, sir. Otherwise, when I initially started writing, sir, I started writing in 2007 when I was in class 9, sir. And that time I was very particular with rhyming, sir, because it was just a nascent stage. So I used to pick up a dictionary and just ensure that all the words are rhyming. And post that, when it came naturally to me, sir, then the rhyming has taken a backseat, but more of a flow of thoughts is what makes more sense.
Cricket.
Sir.
Are you aware, in the history of Test cricket, there's only been one case in which hat-trick was taken in the very first over? Do you recall?
Sir, it was very recently, sir. I think in the Ranji match, it was.
No, I'm talking about Test cricket.
If I were to recall correctly, sir, it was Irfan Pathan taking against Pakistan.
No, yeah, that's exactly right.
Sir.
The Kashmir Files. Have you seen the movie?
No, sir.
Anyway, there are two ways in which the controversy erupted.
Sir.
One was that this was a good way to remind of what actually took place, and the other one was that it wasn't good because it exacerbated the feelings of enmity.
Sir.
Which side would you be on?
Sir, as I am a student of philosophy, I would not be taking sides, but we need to find a middle path between the two, sir. Because on one part, it is true that we need to remind ourselves that certain atrocities have taken place with a certain community, but at the same time, given the fragile times that we are living in, sir, to give wind to that fire is definitely not a very conducive option. And more importantly, what needs to be done is still there are resettlement issues with the Kashmiri Pandits who are still languishing, some in Kashmir and some in other parts of India, Delhi and Jammu also. So I think more than that, more than focusing upon the controversy, the important thing is to focus upon the solutions that can be offered, sir.
Right. Chat GTP.
Sure.
This has been making waves recently. What does it stand for? GPT. What does that stand for? And what is this business? ChatGTP.
So the full form I'm not recalling, sir, GPT, sir, but it is an AI platform in which it is capable of autonomously doing a lot of activities, answering your questions, writing, for example, essays, and then even writing programs, decoding programs, finding bugs in the programs, all those things, sir.
Drones in warfare.
So,
would you shed some light on it?
So first, with respect to our own situation with respect to the drones, sir, I was posted in Samba in my last tenure only. So there we used to not, we are not entitled, we are not on the mandated for that, but we used to find, because we had a very close coordination with the BSF troops there, sir. So often we used to find drones flying over. We used to hear the buzzing sound, humming noise there, sir. So that is one aspect. And when it comes to the drone as a potent weapon for future warfare, sir, it is actually very important, because
no, not future. What about the Russian-Ukraine war?
Sir, it has played a very important role in terms of Russian tanks being targeted by the Ukrainian drones, sir. Because drones give us the opportunity that sitting in this room, for example, we can control, and without even harming one individual, one soldier of ours, we can just target their bases, target their tanks, target their installed establishments. So that way it is a very potent weapon, and it has played a important role in the conflict.
Thank you.
Sir.
Abhinandan.
Sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
It's actually good afternoon now.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. Tell me, when did time start?
If you're asking scientifically, then it is.
I'm not qualifying it. I just said, when did time start?
I'll try to give both the perspectives. If you are asking scientifically, then 13.7 billion years ago, when the Big Bang happened. And if you are asking philosophically, then there's a debate that whether it was time which started first. Time was already there when God began the creation. So there's conflict with respect to that, sir.
Achha. There's conflict.
Sir.
Or would you say that time was always there, we started measuring it?
That is the question in philosophy, sir, because some people say that God created time, some people say that time was already there when God created the world. So that is the paradox that we have, sir.
Very good.
Sir.
Where does thought go when it is forgotten?
It is the innateness of the thought, sir, which we are already focusing upon when we talk about rationalism in philosophy, sir. So thought is already there in the world of ideas. It is just that we might not be recalling it. In the words of Berkeley, the famous Western philosopher, sir, thought, or anything for that matter, continues into existence as long as it is in perception. It can be in my perception, it can be under your perception, and if not in any of the finite beings, it has to be in the perception or of the divine soul.
So thought is always there.
Thought is always there.
The recall value is what is
Yes.
what goes away.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you tell me, what are the types of border that India shares with Pakistan?
So first is the international border that starts from the Rann of Kutch area, sir, and then it goes till just close to Akhnur, sir.
Okay.
And then from Akhnur it starts, the LOC starts, sir, line of control.
Then?
And then it goes. Then there's an undemarcated area beyond Siachen, sir, point NJ9842. That particular area is a matter of difference.
Have you heard of AGPL line?
That is what I'm talking about, sir. That is point N9842, sir. That is AGPL, actual ground position line, and that is basically about Siachen, sir. And it is a matter of varying perception. We say that from that particular point, it goes towards north, sir. But the adversary on the western front says that it follows the ridge line. So that is the varying perception, and as of now, we are dominating as per our perceptions.
Very good. You've forgotten one.
I'm not able to recall, sir.
Sir Creek?
Sir. But I think that's a part of that.
Maritime boundary.
That is a part of the IB only. Sorry. Maritime boundary is not defined. That is also again a matter of. But I think that was resolved by some UN intervention in which 32 kilometers of the creek boundary was earmarked for the Pakistan, and then remaining was earmarked for us.
But both parties don't accept it.
Yes, true.
So there are 4 types of boundaries,
Sir.
isn't it?
Sir.
Okay. Moving forward now. Who is India's best friend, Abhinandan?
Is there any specific area that we're talking about, or just general, sir?
Who is India's best friend? You can qualify the question. You qualified my first question, so I leave it up to you.
If you leave it to me, then according to me, India's best friend has to be India only, sir. If we are not able to fight the problems that we have internally, then of course focusing on the outside would not that.
Very good. That's a good answer.
Sir.
Now we'll expand the scope and the horizon.
Sir.
Okay. From a foreign policy perspective, who is India's best friend?
Given the historical perspective and given the current times, I would vouch for Russia, sir.
Okay.
So, because even 1971 war, when US was against us, even today when US was just about to sanction us for S-400, and even we were questioned for the Russian oil when it was a pragmatic decision from the government given the rising cost for the people. So that way I would vouch for Russia.
What is the United States counter to the S-400? What do they want India to buy from them?
They have a system. I'm not able to recall the system. They also have a similar system, sir.
It's deployed where?
It is deployed in Germany, sir.
Deployed also in South Korea?
South Korea, yes, sir. Sir.
I'll give you the acronym. Can you expand it? It's called THAAD.
It is a terminal high altitude air defense system, sir.
Very good. Good. Thank you. Thank you, Abhinandan.
Sir.